Forget mowing, fertilizing, and high water bills with this amazing native plant. In this video, we are talking about one of my favorite native ground covers, or lawn alternatives, that will help boost biodiversity, lower your water bill, and help support local ecosystems around you, with little to no maintenance and without the drawbacks of a yellow lawn during the intense summer heat. Come with me to meet this amazing native plant that will attract amphibians and native pollinators to your yard.
Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I am bringing you an especially tough and drought-tolerant alternative to a lawn or a turf grass that you could put inside your lawn if you live anywhere within the native range of this amazing plant, which is known as frog fruit, Phyla nodiflora. With this being a low-growing, mat-forming species of plant, I'm actually going to flip the camera and do this a little bit differently this time, and I'm not going to be within the shots, but I'm going to talk from behind the camera as we highlight this beautiful native plant. All right, so this is Phyla nodiflora, or the frog fruit. Phyla, the genus it is in, means tribe, as it grows together in these dense, thick-forming mats and forms what is like a tribe-like flower. Nodiflora means not flowering in Latin, as they form these dense, not-forming flowers all over their body. Their flowers are very small and showy as they pop out against the lime green foliage. They're especially tough here in North America, and they're native to this area, surviving droughts, but preferring boggy or moist conditions. So if you live in the deep south, in an area with boggy soils, this is the plant for you. I know many people love turf grasses, and there's nothing wrong with wanting some turf grasses around your property, but this is a species you may see commonly trying to encroach in your turf grasses, and leaving it is definitely not a mistake. These guys have a 2 to 3 foot deep root system that reaches down to get water, and just the other day, these guys were looking a little thirsty. I gave them a little bit of a water, and they perked right back up and started blooming. So when they get dry, they'll kind of dry out, get a little crispy, similar to turf grasses. But one thing these guys that turf grasses do not have is food for pollinators, as all of these small white flowers you see here in the video, sorry my hands are a little shaky, it's about 100 degrees out today, and you can still notice how amazing these flowers look. This just shows how well they can thrive in incredibly harsh conditions. They thrive in full to part sun. They can grow in shade, but they won't bloom as much. This area right here is pretty much part shade, as you can see some sunlight scattering in at the moment, but in the late afternoon it is shaded, and they seem to like that as it helps hold moisture in. They form these dense mats of themselves. So we look down here, you can see vines kind of growing along the ground as they send out these long runners that have nodes all along the stem. And I'll pull one of those up right here and show that. So if we look right here, we can see the nodes. Right here at the node is where it's going to grow, and this one's already starting to put on some root primordia, and it's going to throw roots down into the semi-boggy soil that they are found in. They can grow in almost straight water, but do not like being completely flooded all the time. As they grow, they form this really dense carpet-like mat, very similar to turf grass, which makes an ideal plant for a lawn. It only wants to grow between 3 and 6 inches tall, so left unmowed, it'll get about this tall. This area right here, it has a few other plants to grow up on, so it's maybe closer to a foot tall, but it doesn't tend to get that tall in a lawn setting, which we will show hopefully a clip in a minute if I can find an area that has some frog fruit lawn. I'm starting to put plugs out in the wetter areas of the soil, and this guy is spreading heavily through it and creating this very biodiverse, rich mat. These microclimates, these mat forms, is how it gets its name of frog fruit. These microclimates make cool, moist conditions that amphibians love. Things like leopard frogs, pond frogs, bullfrogs, toads, and salamanders absolutely love these conditions. It forms these very humid, cool areas for them to survive, but it also attracts plenty of insects for the frogs to eat. So things like small gnats, flies, solitary bees, and butterflies come in here to get pollination. It gives them food, but then also gives a snack for some of the toads. This guy is excellent for wildlife, as things like sparrows and finches eat the seeds. It is also a host plant for caterpillars of butterflies, things like the Phaon crescent, the white peacock, and the common Buckeye butterflies use this as a larval host. So they lay their eggs on here, they consume the leaves, the larva does, and then it turns into a butterfly. Those butterflies are also great food for plenty of different birds. This plant also has the common name of turkey tangle. It's called turkey tangle as turkeys seem to be tangled up in it as they come around through it looking for seeds and bugs to eat. They like searching through this, so this is excellent habitat if you're trying to increase wild turkey populations. These guys are rather easy to identify with their growth habit that spreads through creeping stems that root through those nodes that you see here that I showed you here a minute ago, and they form this dense-like carpet on the ground. They don't get very tall, and they have these beautiful little flowers that form these little knob shapes, and we'll bring one up to the camera here. If you look within that flower, you'll see colors and hues of pink, lavender, yellow, with a darkish center here at the top. Each of these little knobs have about a dozen flowers blooming at any given time, and will have about 50 to 60 flowers grow on them on the entire life cycle of their journey. Then they produce seeds that birds eat, other small rodents will eat, and then it'll also get to reseed heavily into the area, spreading even further, making these beautiful pollinator-friendly native lawn alternatives. If we look here, some really cool identification clues are on the leaves here. If we look here, the leaves are opposite of one another, which means they grow on opposite sides of each other. Alternating would be irregular patterns up the stems growing out at different points. We see this whorled leaf growth on this plant. We also see these nice toothed or saw-like leaves that are more rigid towards the tip of the leaf. They're about an inch long on the mature leaves. And then we have this beautiful little flower here, which you can see the color of, is a mix of pink and lavender with a dark center, which more flowers will come out into the future. So you can look at right here at this one, you can see it's produced flowers all the way up. And then this flower right here, let's try to get it to focus. And if we look, this flower right here has bloomed all the way up and now is blooming at the end here, and probably had 50 or 60 blooms on one of these knob-like flowers. So each of these flowers actually are florets that hundreds of smaller flowers come out on, which gives pollinators a ton of food. This guy is food for many of our small solitary bees and butterflies like this skipper, which I'll try to move the camera over to. Right here we have a skipper. I don't know if you can see it. He's right down here at the end of the video. I'm trying not to move because he's very skittish. Right here we have a little skipper coming along, enjoying the pollen that this plant is producing, unlike our non-native turf grasses, which don't produce any nectar whatsoever. This plant might be seen as unsightly to some, but when it's mowed, it is very clean and nice looking with all of the small white flowers, giving a nice little show, giving a little whimsy to your yard or your gardens, as it's also an excellent ground cover. It can be used in beds to help cover up and shield soil from the intense heat, also adding some more biodiversity to it, or can be a complete lawn replacement. If we look right here, we can actually see on the swamp mallow growing up through these frog fruits, which the frog fruit has grown up quite tall, we have a small jumping spider, which is bringing some small predators to this area. They're going to help control the extra insects that this plant brings in. This white foaminess right over here is actually caused from some kind of larval, which is using the bubbles created by this plant to shield itself from predators. So inside this little foamy bit here, we actually have the larva of some kind of insect. If you're curious of how long it takes for this plant to grow, we can look up and see that this plant, which I put a plug in the beginning of last year, has spread quite magnificently through here. If we look up there, it keeps spreading further and further and is actually started to spread. We'll move the camera, sorry if it's a little shaky. You see that it started to spread over onto this region of this marsh. Right here we have some kind of parasitic wasp using this guy as pollen. So all things considered, this is a very easy plant to grow. If you're wondering how heat tolerant it is about 102 right now and is going to get up to 106 today. And this guy will keep growing and flourishing throughout all of this heat as long as it doesn't get too dry in its immediate soil area. It also helps shield the ground from the sun, trapping in moisture, so it only needs a watering about once a week, if that, as long as the temperatures are not too high. If I haven't mentioned, it grows from zones 6 to 11, and it is basically an evergreen, and zones 8 to 9 through 12. So this guy will grow year-round and give you maybe not blooms in the winter months, but will continue being a nice ground cover or a lawn alternative throughout the hot months. Here in zone 6B, 7A, where I live, right on the border between them, it does die back around October and then starts emerging from the ground around April. So it's around for about 7 months out of the year, which is more than enough for me, as many of the turf grasses also die off during that period. But it also likes a wide range of soils and pH. With the pH being between 5 and 9, it's pretty comfortable. So it does adapt to basically any kind of pH of soil that you'll find. It also doesn't really mind what kind of soil, growing in clay and sand and anywhere in between. So it can grow in solid clay or solid sand, but I will say it probably would do better in more sandy, wet conditions near creek bottoms. Here's the entirety of the plant as we move across it. You can see it's formed a very thick mat and is intergrowing between many other species, like this swamp mallow right next to it, and the switchgrass right above it, along with fall sunflowers and a few other things growing all in between it, like this tick seed sunflower. This guy is also excellent for soil erosion, as it forms these dense mats with these nodes that lock in the soil, and as it sprawls across, really helps lock in loose soil and quickly colonizes areas that are void of plant life, especially along streams and creek edges. So here's a spot where I accidentally put some in here. I'm glad it's here now, but I put some horserush here. The horserush actually died, but the frog fruit that was around the roots of that started spawning out. It started to grow up and vine up these other plants, and it's sprawling out, and we'll turn the camera down. And we can look right here and see it spreading out into the lawn. And one thing that you can notice about this is it actually is this nice lime green, while the grass is more of a dark green, and it has some yellowing in it as the heat has been harming this grass. So if we look here, this frog fruit really pops. So if you were worried that it might make your lawn not look as green, it's complete opposite. It'll actually make it look as lime green as possible, giving you possibly a greener grass than you could ever have, or a greener lawn cover than you could ever have using traditional turf grass, even with extensive fertilizer use. I've never fertilized these clumps, though it probably wouldn't hurt to give them a nice organic, slow release fertilizer to help boost them through your yard if you're trying to get them started. But one thing I'm going to show here, and I'm actually going to pull one of these, is to show how easy they are to propagate. One of the easiest plants to propagate, as they want to do that, and as long as there's moisture present, they will spread tremendously. So let's grab this little piece here, just trail it along, feel it in the roots, and you can see those nodes have put on roots. This is not the original plant, but it's starting to spread into the ground and become part of the original clump. These guys spread indefinitely and can cover an entire lawn within a few years, as they're aggressive growers and will never stop spreading and can basically grow forever without a distinct lifespan, which makes them very interesting. But let's take this to another area and show you what I'm going to do with it. Right here we have a shady, moist area. It's partial sun. As you can see, there's dappled sunlight coming through. And one of the areas that hold the most moisture is underneath logs and rocks. And so I'm just going to lay this guy in here just like that. Drop the rock on top of it and give it a good water, and that will start sprawling out and become its own genetic clone of the other one. So right here we have an area that is completely dominated by frog fruit. And if you look around, this is crabgrass, Bermuda, and even some buffalo grass, which is a native grass to this area. And it is not doing near as well as the frog fruit is. So if you see this entire green area here, and this is a very dry, arid region. We've only had about a 1/4 inch of rain in the past 2 weeks and 100-degree weather almost every single day. And just look at it go off. It's blooming right now. There's butterflies going around and small solitary bees. This just shows how tough it can be. And if I step back where you can see the whole thing, look at the dark, the yellow around it, and then the green patch in the middle. This is doing better than the other grasses used as the lawn in this area. So right here we have Bermuda grass, which is all dried up and yellow at this time of year. And right in front of it, or right in front of the camera here, we have this large patch of frog fruit that is taken over. And I'm going to throw some close-up shots of this right now. Just look at it in this lawn setting here, as we can come across and look at all the little flowers that are growing. This has been mowed at about 2 inches, as they mow pretty short here. And if we pan back, we can actually see, look at how dry. Let me turn the camera. Look how dry it is behind this area. And then look how amazingly beautiful and biodiverse this area is. As you can see, small butterflies. See that little yellow one there? I don't know how well you can see him. That's a little yellow butterfly. That's focusing on my finger. Right there's a little yellow butterfly, using these flowers to their benefit, while the grass around here is completely dead. Let's pick up the camera and walk around and look at that a little bit more. We come back here and put it in 0.5, you can really see the entire area that it is growing. There's some serrata that's a little greener right over there, but for the most part, the greenest area in this entire well-established frog fruit colony is the frog fruit, and it is extremely vivid and green in comparison to the rest of the grass in this area. It continues to spread out, and you can really see it sprawling right over here on the edge as it's spreading. Look down, you can see, zoom in, all of the runners coming across here to help dominate this. This is really a great example of how tough this plant is, and it shows a great reason why you should be planting this in your lawn instead of grasses, as it doesn't need near as much irrigation. This area has never been watered once and has only received a 1/4 inch of rain 2 weeks to 3 weeks and has had scorching temperatures all across it, yet it continues to thrive without any care whatsoever. Before we leave this area, I wanted to show, I dug up 2 nice clumps of it, and this is actually a small portion of the entire area, and there's actually a little bit of grass that's not doing too well. Throw that out of there. I'm gonna go start some new plugs of this in other areas just to show how easy this is to dig up. And when I dug up that small little patch here, it came with extensive runners. That is amazing. But that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. This guy is an excellent ground cover native plant that I'm really trying to promote, as it is a great lawn alternative. I'll do other videos of other lawn alternative plants, but this is the first one that I chose, as it is the most prolific and easy to convert into a lawn. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribing is the best way to help this channel as it grows. Every dime this channel ever makes will be back into educating the youth, educating people, and purchasing land to preserve these amazing plants into the future for educational purposes and for biological purposes. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns with this video, as I try to reach out to each and every single one of you on this channel to let you know that I'm there, that I'm listening, and I also like answering questions that I may have not got to in the video, as I can't cover everything in one short segment. It's extremely hot. I'm not even able to hardly gain my thoughts right now because it is so warm, and the camera has overheated 3 times during this video, and this plant is still doing magnificently. I just wanted to point that out. But with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.